Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show again.
OTR.
Yeah, we love to have you. We got Chief here and Goat here, co-hosting you on guns. So we're gonna name today's episode 3. Should we have more gun control or more guns? And we'll leave that for you to answer, but we're gonna kind of talk about it a little bit here. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So just to start out, I'm a very big gun enthusiast. I love guns.
Oh, yeah, this the gun guy right here.
Yeah, I buy guns and love guns and ammo and cleaning them and taking them apart and all that stuff. And I am a strong advocate for not having very significant gun control at all. I am against gun control, personal beliefs and whatnot, and I'll kind of get into that as well, just because I want you guys to understand like my point of view. This isn't going to be something super factual, but it is going to just kind of put like a image of what guns are, what they do, and all that. Like a lot of people are, guns kill people. Oh, it's the gun did this. Well, I got a little something here for you guys.
People with guns.
There we go. It's,
that kill people.
So if guns kill people, then pencils misspell words, cars drive drunk, and forks make people eat.
Pretty much.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sure if anybody's listening to this and they don't like guns at all, I'm sure they probably kind of feeling like, well, that might be a fair point, Like, if you drive drunk, is it the car? Is it the car's fault? Cars kill more people than anything on this planet, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most dangerous.
Accidents,
yeah, most dangerous way to travel. A lot of people, they're scared to get on planes or whatever. Planes the safest, then boats, and then cars is actually the most dangerous way to travel because, to be just very brutally real with you guys, people are idiots when they're driving.
Oh, they're dumber than you think.
Yeah, there's
on my way here, I just had somebody pulling out into the busy road so he could make a wide left turn and almost got cracked.
Right in front of traffic.
Literally.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, and to say that, like if we talk about, let's say, maybe like school shootings. Now, I know this is a very touchy topic for some people, and, obviously it's horrible what these people are doing. Yeah,
what these kids are doing.
These kids, man, they, and it's not always just kids, but primarily it is kids. People are like, we need more gun control because kids can get a hold of these weapons and such.
Yeah, but see, when the parents put their guns in places that's accessible for their child, what you think they're going to do? They're gonna, this is cool. Let me go and get a hold of this.
Yeah, I agree. And
I guarantee you, if they'd have put that pistol 10 feet up on top of a shelf somewhere, that child would not have reached it. Or if he'd have put it in a safe.
Yeah, I mean, kids could still climb up something and grab it and whatnot, but...
Yeah, but I mean, it's less likely than if you just got it sitting on the table.
Yeah, I agree. And, I'm an advocate for safes. I love safes. They keep them locked up. People can't steal from you. Kids can't get a hold of things they're not supposed to have a hold of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also an advocate for when kids are young, teaching them how to use guns.
Right.
People...
gun safety for sure.
Gun safety,
I feel like that's a big problem, too.
A huge problem, man.
People just get a gun. They don't know what they doing with it.
Yeah, and maybe... well, I don't have guns in the house, and my kid never play with a gun, but think about it this way. Your kid goes over to somebody else's house, and their kid's allowed to play with guns.
Yep.
They grab it. Now your kid has something that he has no idea what he's doing with.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know any safety about it.
Nope.
And accidentally shoots his friend and kills him.
Exactly.
Now your son has a murder charge on him. It's guns are not a toy.
No, hell no, they're not.
A lot of people like to reference them as toys, like adults. And they're not a toy They are defense. They're weapons.
They're
for
defense tools.
They're tools.
Just
in a
like the
sense.
sword.
Yeah, it's a when you have more of them, you got a collection of tools. This tool for this thing, this tool for that thing. Same with guns.
Yeah.
You got a long barrel rifle for long range. You got handguns for
Mid-range or whatever you
really.
want.
I mean, handguns can kind of all around out
Yeah.
carry out in the open and all this and that. So.
But you see, the thing is, like you said, guns are not toys, but that's how they're being portrayed as. I mean, you watch music videos and you watch TV, people just flashing them around like it ain't nothing.
Yep.
Like this ain't gonna take no life.
Yeah.
Or even when they rapping, they talking about shooting and killing people.
Yeah, and I mean, that's another thing, man. A lot the publicity of, what guns are used for. A lot of these rappers are pushing that, going out in the streets and killing people and whatnot. And I mean, what do you think that's doing to the younger generation?
Yeah, who's taking all that in, literally
Like,
soaking it up.
Yeah, and for like school shootings, it's not so much the same because they don't ever talk about that in their rap songs. But for like gang violence in the streets, violence in cities and whatnot, that is a major indicator of that, and.
Yeah, so I mean, when you bring it back to the gun laws, I mean, I understand some gun laws are necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody can't have a gun. Like, I think in order to have a gun, you should have a license. Well, not in all cases. I mean, if you're in the military or something like that, that's understandable. But, like, people should not just be able to go out on the street somewhere and pick up a gun just because they got the money to afford it. And they haven't had the training to handle that weapon.
So, I really like what you said, but at the same time, I have to disagree with one point you had there, that everybody should have a license. So, like, the Second Amendment, right? The reason we have that Second Amendment isn't just so we can have guns.
Right.
Just for fun.
The right to
you know
bear
what I
arms.
mean? Like, we're going to go to the range and shoot some targets. That's not why we have guns. That's not why we have the Second Amendment. Because the Second Amendment isn't just the right to bear arms. It's the right to bear arms, and it is the right to protect yourself or others against a tyrannical government.
Right.
So guns is the only thing keeping us from... Sorry.
Excuse me.
You good. Bless you. Anyways, guns are the only thing that protects us as citizens from falling into a communist country.
Right. You know what? That's the one thing that I do love the most about this country. I mean, America is fucked up in a lot of ways, but that's one thing that makes America America. Because citizens are allowed to have the right to bear arms. They're allowed to have guns or gun collections, whatever you want to call it, as many weapons as they want.
Yeah.
But when there's people that are having these gun collections, they don't even have the basic training on how to handle this weapon, or they don't have the emotional control. Because, I mean, if you get a man who always acts off of his emotions, what you think he's going to do if he's got a gun in his waist and somebody pisses him off?
That's a fair point.
Like, if you took a class, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a license. It could just be a class that you take for basic safety. Everybody got to take it. You want a gun, you got to show that you took that class. AKA a license.
I see what you're saying. And so, like, concealed carry permits, your C-dubs, that is a thing. And it is a class, 8 hours, by the way. So like a work day. You go in there for a work day, pretty much. And it's a long class. It's a process. And one of the nice perks about it, I have no issues with concealed carry permits. As soon as I'm there, I'm going. I'm getting one as soon as I'm, of the right criteria. So yeah. I'm going to get one. My C-dubs. I have no problem with that. I do, however, when you say everybody should have to take a class and whatnot, I see the point. I get the point of view. I do, but that it's just messing with the Second Amendment so much because the Second Amendment doesn't say it doesn't say you have to have a class to clarify.
It doesn't. I mean, back then they didn't need it. You just get a gun.
Yeah.
But now back then the men were stronger. They didn't have to really worry about this dude's got a mental problem. He might shoot up the school. Or he
like
might
that.
shoot up the mall. He might have a mass shooting or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't really have to worry about that now. But now, in today's world, so many men act on their emotions. It's just not safe.
And it's not just men either.
Yeah, I mean, it's women, kids.
Yeah, it goes around, and I agree. And one of the things I hear so much in the debate of why we shouldn't be allowed to have ARs specifically.
Right.
I hear it all the time. Well, an AR is a fully automatic weapon. First of all, AR does not stand for assault rifle.
Mm-mm.
Isn't
it automatic rifle?
No, it doesn't stand
it's not.
for. It does not.
Too.
But not all rifles come fully automatic either.
Well, that's the thing. Fully automatic weapons are illegal.
Right, yeah.
Completely illegal. You cannot get one unless you have an FFL Class 3. And FFL Class 3 is basically letting everybody know you have your federal firearms license.
AKA, I mean, that's the stuff military guys have.
Well, no, not even. So, like, when you're in the military, it's a little bit different because you're carrying fully automatic weapons overseas and whatnot and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. This is, like, in the States. Right. You can have a fully automatic weapon, but it's not yours. It's the company's. So you have to have an LLC that you have stamped your FFL license, Class 3 to, and that will allow you to get fully automatic weapons so you can sell and distribute weapons to police, military, etc. It's how people...
Like war dogs.
It's like war dogs. It's how people start making money in the gun industry and the firearms industry. And so back to like what AR means, it doesn't stand for assault rifle, automatic rifle. It stands for Armalite rifle because the person that invented it had a company called Armalite.
Oh,
that's where AR comes from. But a lot of people get that confused because they don't know better. That's the thing. They don't know enough about it, and that's another thing. If you're gonna have a debate on something, you need to know enough about it to be able to
make a point, a valid point.
Yeah, because like a lot of these people. You know, we shouldn't have ARs because there's 30 rounds in the chamber. Like, that's not how it works. It's one in the chamber at a time, okay? Unless it's like a double barrel shotgun. But, you know, I don't hear nobody talking about those.
Hell no.
So, you know, they're like, if it's one shot, like back in the day, when they made the Second Amendment, it was muskets, and you had to put the ball in and the powder and jam it down in there, put the primer in, and like we still have guns like that today.
Oh yeah,
black powder rifle.
Not as effective, but
it's not as effective as like ARs and such. But here's the thing: the Second Amendment didn't say if we come up with a technology that's better, we can't have it, because the Second Amendment says we have the right to bear arms, and another perk of that is to fight a tyrannical government should there ever be one. Well, how are we going to fight a tyrannical government with one shot? You know what I mean? They're going to have ARs and fully automatic weapons.
I mean, they got the whole military with them.
Exactly. And when it comes to fully automatic weapons, I think that this is where I agree with you on the point of a class. I think there should be a class you can take and a little bit of paperwork, and then you can get fully automatic weapons.
Right.
Like a concealed carry license. So like in a state like where we live, there's many states like this, it's one of those things where like we can conceal carry without a permit.
Exactly.
We don't have to have a permit anymore. Nope. They got rid of that. I love that. That's great. Woo. Yeah. Because any stride towards more guns and all that kind of stuff, I'm 100% for, because guns is not only protecting us from a tyrannical government, it's also protecting us from foreign invasion.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, I mean, to an extent, I'm not talking about like illegal aliens being here in the country, because that's a little bit different.
Yeah,
we can't just chop them down. You
hell
know
no.
what I mean?
just spray them the floor.
Yeah, you can't do that. So,
hell no.
You know, but I mean, I'm just, when it comes to like, you know, like say Russia wanted to invade us and whatnot,
right,
they're going to think twice because we got 1.8 billion guns in this country.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, and just for you people that don't know, they broke that down to an average, and that's about 6 guns per person. Now I know that not everybody in here has a gun.
Of course not.
You know, that's there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to have a gun.
But there might be somebody in there that's got a gun, that's got enough guns for everybody.
Exactly. So I mean, that's kind of how it works. For every person that doesn't have a gun, there's probably one that has,
150.
well above the average, because the average is 6 guns per person. And so, which I'm trying to hit. I do have a wife, so I need 12. I'm at 6.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. But anyways,
yeah, but I mean, then you think about all the add-ons to these guns, like pistol grips, or like extended stocks, or muzzles, or suppressors, all that stuff. They make all that kind of stuff illegal, but it's like, why are you really making it illegal?
And that's where we get into, because that's not exactly the government. So a lot of those cases, like, I'm not going to say, I am going to say short barrel rifles. Let's just use that as one example real quick. Short barrel rifle is an AR or, an AR-15 or AR-10 or something like that with a barrel length less than 16 inches. So if you have, let's say, an AR-15 chambered in .300 blackout, for those of you that don't know what that is, if I had to explain it, it would take me a while because it's a type of round. You just look it up if you want to know.
Special bullets.
It's not necessarily special. It's just somebody took a .308 round, which that's what I'm talking about. I have to explain it based on other rounds, and for most of you guys.
Well, what's the closest one you can compare it to?
A .308 round. It's the same diameter, and it's just a shorter shell length. So they put it in short barreled AR-15 rifles if they don't put 5.56 because the bullet travels further because it has more density, more weight, and whatnot.
Okay.
It's a little bit slower than a 5.56 because a 5.56 is a diameter of a .22. But I'm gonna cool off on the numbers here. I'm sure everybody's spinning right now.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bro. Hey, you know a lot about guns. Man.
So, basically, a short barrel rifle, like, let's say a 14-inch barrel, it's 2 inches short.
Right.
Well, the ATF agency, in other words, alcohol, firearms, and tobacco, that's their departments. They said, well, we're going to say this is a federal crime.
Right.
Why? Why did they make over 3 million Americans felons overnight? Well, that's a great question. Let me break it down for you in their words.
Go ahead and break it down for us, go.
Yeah, their words are, well, it makes the gun shoot faster. And for those of you that don't know, the only way for a gun to shoot faster is 1, pull the trigger faster. 2, put a full auto trigger in it.
Yep.
3, put a binary trigger in it. There's different triggers and stuff you can get to make it shoot faster, but basically they're out for our guns, they're out for our rights.
Of
and
course.
If people take the Second Amendment, you know what's next? First Amendment, then the Third Amendment, then the Fourth Amendment.
See, they
and it's just a domino effect.
They already been trying that first one.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's why they cancel it.
Yeah, they're sneaking that first one around. A lot of people don't realize that, but it will be much more of a realization when you go on somewhere like social media, post something, and now you're in prison for 20 years because you said something.
Exactly.
That's how China is. Communism. That's what I'm talking about, people.
Like the Tate brothers.
Exactly. And here's the thing. If the Second Amendment goes away, how much easier is it for them to just
start chipping away?
Yeah, we're just gonna take these amendments away. We don't
they
need
ain't
them.
even gonna notice.
Yeah,
Let's go all the way down. Let's take number 10.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. It's a scary thing. The Second Amendment protects so much more than what people realize. They think it's just about guns and whatnot. And for those school shootings, where we live, there are 52 schools that allow teachers to take a class. They take a police class, and they are allowed to carry a gun into that school in the classroom.
But see how it should have never had to lead to that.
It shouldn't have, but it ain't got nothing to do with guns.
It don't.
It's got to do with the mental health and the stability of this country.
Mm-hmm.
We're babying kids too much, and I say kids. I'm young, I know, but I'm serious. People my age, a little older, younger, we were babied too much, and it is it has caused people to just have some seriously
Bad side effects.
Yeah, it's not good to just everybody's a winner, blah blah blah, and then when you lose,
Participation trophies.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit on
last episode.
Yeah, last episode 2, and that's why it's not good for just kids in general, and we can see that it's leading bad places because we started having school shootings.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, in Sandy Hook Elementary, everybody knows what I'm talking about. I should not have to say it more than once. Horrible tragedy. Terrible.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. When that dude shot through that door to break the glass and entered that building, the principal of the school ran to him as if she was going to fight for the gun. You know what he did? Shot her down.
Yep.
She didn't have a chance.
Nope.
Now imagine if she was running at him instead of to fight with the gun, to shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids would have died then?
Yeah, none.
One.
Well, yeah.
Or the guy that broke into school.
Right.
So that's how many people would have died. And people of that mindset, they go into a mass shooting area. They always go for places that don't allow guns.
Yep.
Every mass shooting is a no-gun area, and it seems to be overlooked by everybody. Oh, mass shooting here, this, that, we need to get rid of guns. Mm-hmm. Why aren't you pointing out the sign that says no guns?
Yeah.
And then everywhere where it's guns are allowed, you don't see that happening.
Of course not.
Because what's going to happen? Dude's going to get popped right there, down he goes. It's over.
See, now, when it comes to things like that, like, I can understand why they allow the teachers to go take that class to have that gun in the school. But, I mean, I feel like if it's going to get to that point, why not have armed security at the school? Or have, like, K-9 units at the school, stuff like that. Because, I mean, if you're already making them take a police class, you might as well just have some police officers on premises.
That's a great point, and a lot of schools have
they have security.
They have security, and they have started doing that.
There's schools that's literally making the kids walk through scanners before they even enter.
Right, but here's where there's a problem with that. They have a certain amount of teachers that take this class, and they're not very loud about it. They're quiet about it, but they have a certain amount.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Yeah.
And they're placed in their classrooms are in certain positions throughout the school.
Oh, okay.
When you have one officer and he's on one side of the building,
he's got a patrol.
And whatnot. We'll say it happens. Somebody comes in with a gun. School shooter in the building. Everybody goes on lockdown. He's got to make it across the building to get to them before he kills anybody. Versus he opens the door and a teacher shoots him in the face.
Teacher pull out a 12 gauge on his ass.
Dude, like, I mean,
blow his ass right back out the door.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that's like, you know, I there was a movie theater it happened to. Mass shooting in a movie theater. No guns allowed. There was another movie theater that mass shooting that happened years ago, and the dude, instead of driving, he passed 2 movie theaters on the way to go shoot up one. The 2 that he passed allowed guns.
Right.
The one that he went to, it was 30 minutes past the closest, theater to his house. And so, like, just to put that, to kind of frame reference it, it's like, seems to me that their motive is, I want to go somewhere and I want to kill as many people as possible.
As many helpless people as
possible. Exactly. And that way, nobody's there to protect them.
Nope.
The police have to come, which gives me a 7-10 minute window, something like that.
Literally.
And then that'll give me enough time to do this and that, and
kill myself, and
then that's it. Well, the last thing they want is to get no victims and get shot and killed. That's why they're going to places that don't have guns.
Because it's less likely that somebody gonna have one.
Exactly. And so,
damn, I never even thought about it like that.
You know what I mean? Like, and so, this is where it gets real tricky. a lot of people are like, we need to take guns away. And there's actually, I think Illinois just did a statewide assault weapon ban. Or not assault weapon, I don't want to say that, but rifle ban.
Right.
Actually, all guns. They banned all guns unless you, you either turn them in or you send them through a process that lets them know exactly what this gun is, where it goes to, and there's no more on street selling. Like You're not allowed to just take a gun to somebody and sell it. Well, out of all of Illinois, there was about 2,500 guns that got turned in or went through the process that they wanted.
How many people do they really think were about to turn over their guns?
Exactly. And like my philosophy is, you want my guns? Come to the door.
Come on in here.
And that's a lot of people. A lot of people just like me. Like, if they want my guns, they can come up to the door and they can try.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna be too obliterate here, but I got over 1,000 rounds ready to go now.
As soon as you step past that gate, you trespass. That's all I gotta say.
That's it.
You
ain't taking these guns. You know what I mean? So but here's where it gets. Like I said, this is where it gets real tricky. They're trying to take guns away. Well, their motive is that if they take guns away, or the extremists, so like most people are like, well, we just need to put super strict laws on people that have guns. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's think about this. Majority of killings, majority of murders, homicides, they don't happen from guns. Majority of them happen from knives.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that. Now, are guns a small role? Absolutely not. People shoot people. It happens.
All the time.
All the time. Now, those people that are shooting people, most of the time, are felons.
Yep.
They're not even allowed to have a gun.
Not even one. They're like career felons.
Yeah, and they're like if you try to go buy a gun anywhere, they'll tell them no. So how do they have guns? Because it's so easy.
Yeah, and that was just about to lead me into that point. Was they're putting in place all these rules and regulations and laws, but who's it really hurting? It's only hurting the good, upstanding citizens that are buying all these guns. Now they got to worry about all these laws, because when you looking at the cartel or you looking at the feds, you think they give a damn about a law?
Yep.
They getting their guns either way.
That's right. And I know people. I'm gonna just keep it real brief here, but I know people that are felons, made a mistake in their past and whatnot, and they made a mistake in their past, and they years ago they're felons. They're not allowed to buy guns. Yet they got more guns than me. How does that happen? Because they're not going after the real issue. They're going after, we're going to make it harder for the good, upstanding citizens to get guns, and that'll fix the issue.
That'll fix the bad ones.
That's going to fix nothing.
Hell no.
The only thing that's going to do is allow more good, upstanding citizens to die.
Literally, because they can't defend themselves.
Let's take Chicago, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly how long ago, but some time ago in Chicago, there was 73, 75 shots fired. Police didn't even come. They waited it out because it's so bad there. And people are going to be like, well, this is the perfect example of why they don't need guns. No. You misunderstand. These are felonies, like people with felonies that like...
In and out of prison.
Jailbirds. And even if they didn't really go to prison, they might have a murder or two. Like, let's just take King Von, for example. Right. I know a lot of y'all would know who King Von is.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody that's listening know who that is.
I shouldn't have to say who it, like, go into detail, but King Von, we know that he had murders. Mm-hmm. He also had felonies, but he had murders. Well, here's the thing. How was he getting guns? Right. It's like going out to your pop's house and there you go. You got a gun.
Like going out to buy a soda.
It's nothing there. It's not any type of process or anything.
Ain't no difficulty there.
Right.
There's nothing stopping him from going and getting one. And even if they take it, ain't nothing stopping him from getting one from his homeboy. Or somebody else that got.
And it's like that day. Like there's stories of people that they took my gun and went home that day.
Just take this one.
Yeah, got another one before I even got home.
Yeah.
like, I just, gun control isn't really, it's not helping the problem. It's not fixing the problem. If anything, it's just making more innocent people die.
Yeah.
72 shots were fired. Not one of those people had a gun that got hit.
Nope.
There were 3 people that got hit. I think 2 of them died. I don't remember the exact statistics, but they were all bystanders, civilians.
Now, if you take that same scenario and you put 3 or 4 guys in there that were trained and they have their guns on them, I guarantee you the outcome would have been totally different.
And that's another thing. So these people in the streets of Chicago and whatnot, they're not, the only practice they get is shooting people.
Yeah. Or shooting in the air, shooting at random objects.
The good bystander, he goes to the range, he practices with that gun, he cleans that gun.
He trains with it.
He knows how that gun works, how it functions, what the flaws are, what the flaws aren't. Just like me, I go to the range, I train, I know how to function with my guns, I know how to work my guns.
The proper way to handle it.
My wife knows. She had never shot a gun until she met me. She was like against guns, just like her mother. And we're working on that one, but just like her mother, and she she was against guns and all that. It scared her, and one day I just brought one home from work and
showed it to her.
I was like, look at this. She was like, all freaking out and everything. But now she sleeps with it on her nightstand at night because she understands. First of all, let me clarify: we don't have kids,
right?
So there's not little children running around.
No
Everybody in my house has their C-dubs essentially. So we're safe in that aspect. They've been through class, they got the training and everything like that. So sleeps with one on her nightstand every night, same as me, for protection in case something were to happen. If somebody enters that house in a instance of wanting to hurt somebody, inflict harm, steal, whatever, I don't care. They're in my property, they getting shot.
And that's another thing. See, because you don't have kids, if you got them out in the open, you don't have to worry about, let me get into the safe and put the combination in while they come busting in the window.
Right. If you have kids, though, I definitely think you should have them locked up. Let me just be 100% realistic.
Make it easy for you to get to. Yeah. Don't make it easy for the child to get to.
Put it in, like, in that case, have a small safe that has a fingerprint thing on it, on your nightstand, and you just pop it, put your fingerprint on it, and thing opens up, you can grab it, and you're good to go. Right. The way your kids can't get into it.
Or if you need it right there on you, put it under your pillow. Your child ain't gonna go under your
Yeah, they might. They might. I would say
kids around there.
If you want a fast, effective way, it would probably be they make certain safes that can sit on the side of dressers, and you can put your thumbprint in, and then it'll pop up, and you can grab your gun. That's probably the most efficient way.
It's like a hidden compartment or something like that.
Yeah, and so like stuff like that. Just keep it locked up if you have kids. But my point was, people train with them, and when you think about it, this huge gang gets in a fight in Chicago. 72, 73 shots fired, something like that. I know it was in the 70s. 70 rounds were fired. 3 victims.
Damn.
3 victims. I don't think all of them died, but 3 people
were
hurt, and none of them were the people they were shooting at each other.
Damn.
So that tells you about aim.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That tells you about the practice, dude.
70
shots,
rounds,
73 rounds, and like they didn't hit nothing, dude.
Right.
They hit bystanders that they weren't even trying to hit.
Exactly.
And I mean, I know some of you have probably seen those videos of gang violence in streets and whatnot. They don't look when they shoot. Nope. They just hold the gun up and look away and run
and they just bang, 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 bang.
Firing into the air.
Wildfire.
Yeah, they're not hitting nothing. Like versus a trained person in that scenario.
Who's actually
aiming down sight and they're hitting whatever they're shooting.
They were intending on shooting your ass.
Yeah, they're not running either because, I mean, you're not going to outrun a bullet, first of all.
Hell no.
And there's no point in running away from the threat when the threat's got a gun. You might as well just run it and face it. That's the best chance you got.
Because if you ain't shooting back, he gonna shoot you.
That's right. And so, it's just one of those things. Again, I personally, in my opinion, I think we should have less gun control. Because the gun control we got right now is
I feel like the less the government tries to control, the more control there's gonna be.
I agree.
If you feel what I'm saying.
I 100% agree.
Because, I mean, the more and more they try to stop it, it's just like giving the citizens incentive to want to do it even more.
Yeah, and as much as the government may want to take our guns, as much as they just may want to just completely do away with the Second Amendment, it's you got way too many people in this country that are ready to fight for what they believe.
That's what I'm saying.
They would start a civil war that they want no part of.
No part of. Because I guarantee you, the citizens of the United States will outgun the fuck out of the government.
And a lot of people are like, well, what about the military and police and all that? So let me paint a picture, okay? real quick. Let me paint this picture for you. So let's just say instead of them taking our guns, a civil war happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same could be said for taking the guns and whatnot.
Right.
The civil war happens, and part of this, it wouldn't be like nowadays. It's not going to be north and south or west and east. It's going to be suburb versus rural. It's going to be people with land and farms and stuff like that versus people from the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what the war would be. If that were to happen, the only way I could see that happening in any type of a future is simply, really, I don't want to get too political on y'all, but if Trump doesn't get elected, I got a real strong sense that there's a lot of people that are going to really not take kind to that and start doing something about it.
Yeah.
And so,
like, if they thought that damn storming the damn Capitol was some shit.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be an uproar.
Yeah, and a civil war isn't pretty. Nobody wants a civil war.
Of course not.
I'm just let you guys know this now. A civil war is bloody. There's lots of death.
And it's just not good.
Neighbors,
There's no benefit.
neighbors, trying to kill you. You got to kill them. You know what I'm saying? Friendly faces you saw your whole life trying to kill
Ready
you.
to blow your fucking head off because you think something different.
Exactly. And
you think they should take my gun, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Bang!
And all it takes, dude, all it would take is one side to shed some blood, and it would be instantaneous all-out war. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what's your ARs going to do against the tanks? First of all, if it was civil war and it was rural versus the suburbs, 9 times out of 10, most of the suburbs don't believe in the guns, so they ain't gonna have none.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Second of all, so this is just a picture I'm painting for you, okay? So second of all, well, what do you think's gonna happen next? Well, the military's gonna come in and storm America and start dropping bombs on it. So that's what a lot of people say.
Right.
And now here's my argument to that. So you think somebody who fights for this country and its freedom and for it to be a free country is going to come home from war after fighting some Iraq or somewhere, Ukraine, whatever. They're fighting somewhere. They're going to come home. They're going to start bombing U.S. cities and Americans because they're told to. They're out there fighting for the freedom of our country.
They want them to come back to kill the same motherfuckers that they out here dying for.
Exactly, and people in the military, I know some guys. They talk about this. If it happens, none of them are going to be military anymore.
No.
They're going to be family.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
They go home to their families to protect them.
Yeah,
because this is civil war. This ain't like, I'm going to just let my family die and fight for the cause and whatnot. Like, no, you're going to take care of your family, and there's going to be a lot of people fighting for the cause on each side.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, would it take that long? I don't think it would last that long.
No, I don't think so. But it'll be bad while it's going on.
There would be so many people dead, so many people, you would probably know them. They have such different political views than you don't know, and you would know them, and next thing you know, they're in your house trying to kill you, and, it would be an absolute bloodbath, and it would be terrible. But hopefully, fingers crossed that does not ever happen, because the minute if something like that happens, is Russia, North Korea, China. That's their
when they
golden ticket.
To strike.
That is their opportunity. They're weak. Let's go.
I mean, you got to think. Look, our country already looks weak.
Right.
So if we start to devour ourselves from the inside.
Yep.
And somebody from the outside can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, that's going to be their golden ticket to come and try to take over.
And And then now we're Chinese.
Yeah.
Because we're owned by China. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna be the
we're
USA
North
no
Koreans
more.
now. Or whatever, you know.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be USA no more.
And
that's for sure.
Nobody wants that. Nobody. A lot of these anti-gunners, they want it so bad, but yet they don't want their particular freedoms taken away.
Of course not. Because see, two things. One, they said privilege is invisible to those who have it, right?
Oh yeah.
Then the other thing is they only want certain rules to be in place when it's of benefit to them personally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it. I mean, fact of the matter is, if you're gonna get a gun, take the class. Don't be dummy out here wielding guns you don't even know how to handle it, because you're gonna hurt somebody or you're gonna hurt yourself.
Right, and like we said, we didn't really say this, but statistically, most gun violence from criminal activity winds up hurting civilians and innocent bystanders, people that are just there in the wrong place, wrong time. It hurts them more than it hurts the other gang.
That's what I'm saying.
Or
Because
whatever.
the gang don't give a shit. Even if one of their soldiers die, they still don't give a shit.
They keep
They gonna
going.
go shoot something else up.
And now it makes them mad, and that's how it really happens. Is one side kills one side, the other side retaliates, and it just keeps going until it gets big enough to where they're at all-out war and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I feel bad for them because living that life in America, we're supposed to be a free country and safe and all that, and they grow up in that, and it's a sad thing.
And it don't be seeming like that.
And I'm not trying to get into governments too much, but it's a sad thing, and it's horrible, but it's also what the government wants. They
It's
want to
exactly what
separate.
they
They want high class and low class,
Look.
and they want the low class to be killing each other.
Yeah, I was just talking to my grandma about this morning. Is they want this country so divided in so many different ways
Yep.
that there's no way we'll be able to come back together. I mean, they want people divided by color. They want people divided by race. They want people divided by sexuality or their religion. They want them divided by every single metric.
Yep.
So that way, when they trying to make their move, the citizens ain't gonna. We're gonna be
They're
vulnerable
too
to the
busy
attacks.
fighting each other
Yeah.
to realize the government's attacking.
Yeah,
And,
literally.
and I think that's like the grand scheme of things, and it's not so much the president we see or whatever. It's more the people in the background that we don't see ever.
Yeah.
The people that have lots of money that tell the presidents, this is what you're gonna do. This is how you're gonna do it.
If you want to win, this is how you gonna do this.
Yep.
But hey,
So
it's up to the country to figure that shit out and step up and be like, nah, fuck all that. We already done been through enough as a country.
Yeah.
Now it's time for us to rise up together and put a stop to the bullshit, honestly.
Yeah. And so feel like this was a pretty good episode, guys. We're gonna leave it off there.
Man, 3 straight W's every time. bro.
Yeah. Let us know, what you want to hear next and all that. Comment down below what you think. More gun control or more guns,
Hell yeah,
What-
bro.
what-
Interact, man. We
Yeah.
want to talk to y'all.
Yeah, of course. And, drop a like if you thought it was good. If you don't,
Leave a dislike.
leave a dislike
Hey.
and comment that you hated it.
Yeah, and hey, if you did like it, share it to your friends and family. We want them to hear about this stuff too.
Yeah, so next week we got a pretty exciting episode 4.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, we're going to do the advancements of AI.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to be pretty crazy. I haven't really started researching too much into it yet, but
Hey, artificial intelligence is gonna get crazy, man.
yeah. So,
Y'all don't even understand.
Yep, and we'll bring the facts to you for
Oh,
sure.
it's only the realest here.
Yep, only the realest. We're gonna keep it real and all that. So drop a comment, leave a like, dislike, whatever, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Number 4.
Yep, episode 4. Hope you enjoyed episode 3. OTR out.
OTR out.